Hi, my name's Hannah. I did case competitions with Dr. Field in the Alberta School of Business. My background is not in business, it's in arts and in library and information science. So case competitions were brand new to me when I started participating in them. I found them to be immensely valuable because they teach you a number of skills, and some of the ones that I walked away with were ones that I wouldn't have anticipated picking up through this experience, but I'm very glad now that I participated in them because they have proven quite useful in my professional career and in other initiatives that I take part in. So the two things that I kind of wanted to focus on here a little bit were the case competition experience when you're in a room with your team, you're analyzing the case, you're preparing your solution, and then the question period that follows afterwards with judges. Because both of those, I think, gave me skills that were very useful and that I've carried forwards now into my professional career and into essentially the rest of my working life. So when you're in that room with your teammates and you're under high levels of pressure, it's very useful for finding out where your own weaknesses are, how you work when you're working with a pool of people that you're not entirely familiar with, how you look at a situation where you might have weaknesses in your own reasoning or blind spots in your logic. I found that being in those situations under that intense pressure was very valuable for me because it gave me ideas into personality types that I might not work well with and how I would have to work around that. It gave me ways of looking big picture when there was a time crunch and I felt really stressed. And it also taught me how to rely on my teammates and trust that they would be able to do whatever needed to be done in the time period allotted, because when you're in that room and you only have a fixed period of time, you're forced to trust your teammates. You can't do everything yourself, and if you try, you will probably end up with something that's not as great as it could be if you'd all work together. I also found that the question period, which follows when you go to present your solution to a panel of judges, was initially quite intimidating because sometimes they grill you, looking to see how you'll react when they're asking you tough questions. But overall, it was really useful because now when I go to present, I'm no longer scared of what people will ask me. I can figure out what types of questions they might be looking for, why they might be asking those questions, and how I can best answer them in ways that are succinct and meaningful. Because if you're in a question period and somebody asks you a question, you get called out if you take too long to answer, or if your answer doesn't make sense, or if there's a lot of fluff. So I found that it was very useful in learning how to communicate information directly to an audience that might be unfamiliar with it, and how to get a good big picture look at a situation when you're under a time crunch. Doing case competitions honestly was one of the most valuable experiences in my MBA career, and I just wish that I'd done them earlier. I would encourage anybody who's not from a business background to take part in them because they really give you an enrichment in whatever you understand within a business context. And if you have non-business skills, you will be valuable in a case competition situation.